What's up, everybody? I'm Brandon, aka B, and welcome back to Sociable Turtle, where we talk about real conversations.
Wait, what did he say?
Turtle, where we talk about real conversations. Anywhere from mental health, places around the world, people who shape us. And this week, I want to talk a little bit about a couple of topics, really. And this is coming off of the past few ideas that we've been talking about of just connection and reaching out, listening to others. We're going to talk a little bit more about isolation, coping mechanisms, and then we'll talk about just what redefining strength really looks like. So let's get into it. So when it comes to isolation, I think that it's obviously the complete opposite of the community that we're looking to build. Isolation is definitely where I found myself constantly in my state of addiction. It was a dark place to be. It was kind of this, it came from this place of, I don't want the world, I don't want my family, I don't want my significant other, I don't want people to see me for how I know I truly am. And it's kind of scary because in this weird way, you think you're protecting the ones that you care about, you think you're protecting your self-image, but really you're only harming yourself. It's only detrimental to your well-being. To keep silent, to refrain from engaging outside. I was doing the best that I could under the circumstances that I had. I really thought, you know what, if I can keep up this performance, if I can choose to, if I can choose to pretend to be happy, right? It was a lot of pretending that I'm okay, a lot of pretending that, yeah, I'm doing all right behind the scenes. In reality, that was not the case. I think it could have been further from the truth. But I stayed silent. I didn't want to express the pain that I was dealing with. I didn't want to express the heartache, the trauma, the things that were swirling around in my head. I did not know how to communicate that effectively or in a way that made sense. And so alcohol became my translator. And it was kind of helping me say things that I wanted to say or do things that I wanted to do that I didn't have the courage to do in a sober, clear-headed mind. It also made me do a lot of stupid decisions. It also made me cause a lot of chaos and destruction as a result of just not being fully me. I wasn't fully there. And a part of that keeping silent was using this as an outlet to feel. And we kind of discussed this before. But it also contributed to a lot of isolating. It contributed to me not wanting to interact with friends or family, to very much going through a lot of motions, even when it came to my partner, to pretending that I was, aware of things, pretending that I could remember what day it was and what was supposed to be going on that day. There's a lot of extra energy being put into not being okay. Like, pretending that I'm okay while not being okay is so much extra energy that I don't even know where I found that. And I think when you're like that deep into, I want to hide this version of myself, I want to hide this part of myself from people or from one person specifically. If you're living with your significant other, like there's that part of you that really just like doubles down, and you're going to put up this front. You're going to pretend everything's okay, but behind closed doors, it's a hot mess. It's a real ugly thing. And I didn't know how to communicate that I was not happy, that I was not well, that I was actively miserable while being toxic. Like, it's like I'm hurting people, I'm making other people sad, and I'm making them frustrated and disappointed, and all of these things, like, I'm kind of like aware of, but I'm also trying to distract myself from the fact that maybe it's all in my head. Maybe that's not actually the case. I think a lot of things are actually in our head. We build up a lot of things, and that's also one of the reasons that contributes to us staying silent. We're like, oh, I don't want to be a burden to the world. I don't want to be a burden to anybody. It's like, you're not burdening the people that care. The people that care will show up for you. The people that care will listen. People that care will be there for you, regardless of how well you're actually doing. If anything, it might be a breath of fresh air to know that you're not actually doing well, because, hey, we might actually have something in common. We may have something that I want to get off my chest now that you've been able to open up to me. And being vulnerable doesn't come naturally. It's incredibly, incredibly hard if you're not familiar with opening up, with communicating intimate thoughts, whether it is about your mental health or whether it is just your state of being, in the world, how you're feeling as an individual. The keeping silent didn't bring me peace. The silence was going to be the quiet death of me until I was able to really look at myself in the reflection of a mirror for the first time in a long time and be like, you actively hate yourself right now. Why? Because we've been chanting, oh, I hate you, you're so stupid. Like, what are you doing with your life? You're not good enough for this. And like, how dare you? And for so many ways, I can tie that into numerous past experiences. Those were the things I kept telling myself every day. And that's all I stayed stuck saying. I never actually made an action plan for how to change any of that. I didn't know how to communicate, even with myself. Hey, you're going through a rough time. Why? What is it? Like, what is bringing you down? And then when you start to think, oh, I think I'm coming to realize what the issue really is. Because there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise that you'll think, oh, that's the reason. Oh, that's the reason. And you're like, no, what is the actual underlying reason for all these other situations to keep popping up from? I think that I allowed myself to really get stuck in my head about certain past situations and just keep replaying that instead of communicating how that made me feel, how that affected me, how I could learn from that experience and learn to let go of the negative that came with it. They don't teach you that in school. They don't necessarily sit you down and be like, so here's how to dissect your own brain and communicate effectively. It's very much a learned skill, and through time and practice. See, through the isolating that I was doing, I wasn't practicing any good habits. I was very much closed off from the world, from any help. Even when I'm calling for help, secretly calling for help in my head, maybe, or some of my actions can be interpreted as a sign for help. I still hadn't brought myself to actually say the words, to actually be like, I need help. I didn't want to admit that. Who would want to admit that? Who could ever possibly want to admit, I need help? I can't do this alone. I can't do this on my own. So what do? You find coping mechanisms from when you can't handle things in life. You find ways to distract yourself, to distance yourself from the event, from the emotions, from the things that you don't necessarily want to face right now in this moment. It was alcohol for me. It was an easy thing to distract myself, to not feel, to forget. Not really to remember, but and that was my outlet. Whatever your outlet is, or whatever, we talk about this multiple times, so I want to be inclusive to everybody. My unique story is my toxicity with alcohol and that toxic relationship that I have. Alcohol is just the one thing for me, but it can be anything for anyone else. My coping mechanism was not healthy. I was not consuming my coping mechanism in a healthy amount. I was using it to distract myself, to distance myself from feelings and emotions, and that's going to bite you in the butt. Eventually bit me in the butt multiple times, a lot of times. Your coping mechanism, you may not even be aware of. You may not even be aware that you're working extra long hours because you're actively avoiding a conversation with your spouse, or you're not looking forward to going back to the house and then having to do all of the chores and all of the family taken care of that you normally have to do. Your coping mechanism can very easily look like any street drug or alcohol. Your coping mechanism could be binge eating. Your coping mechanism could be not eating. Your coping mechanism could be any number of things to distract you from the reality with where you're at. And if the reality is that you're unhappy with something or something's bothering you and you're just letting it stew instead of actually figuring out what to do with it, how you're going to handle that, how you're going to process it, how you're going to move forward from it. And you're going to just stay in the silence. We have to be able to redefine what strength is. And strength does not mean shutting the hell up, hoping it goes away, or hoping someone else figures it all out for you. You have to be a more active contributor in your life if you want to have positive changes happen in it. It's the bottom line. And until I started taking those steps myself, nothing changed. Everything stayed the same. Learning that being vulnerable, opening up, expressing yourself, talking about things that aren't fun to talk about, that are not easy to talk about, that are painful to even remember or mention, that's where strength really lies. That's where your true strength is, and being able to face the thing that scares you most, the thing that hurts you most. And I'm sure we got a bunch of them. And every time we have to be able to face that, find that strength to be like, you know what? I'm not alone. I can handle this. I can handle this pretty well, but I don't gotta do it alone. I have my team. I've got my support network. I have people I can talk to. I mean, I love how much therapy has really helped so many people. I think it's beautiful. I think at one point in time, I did not know what to think about therapy. Like, I didn't really have the opinion of whether I wasn't sure if therapy was going to be the right move for me, or if it was really of any help. Like, I'd only heard about it, the stigma of therapy, and then being able to experience multiple therapists over a long period of time, I found that relief I was looking for when it came to the self-expression, the emotional release, finally I can get that off my chest. And someone professionally can see this and can kind of guide me. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why for so long did I think I was alone? Did I choose the slow and eventual death of isolation over just opening up? I was scared. I was scared to take that step. But to be scared is to be human. That's okay. Like, it's not expected to be fearless. Like, you're supposed to approach life with humility and patience and kindness. You're not expected to have it figured out. So that's why even now, as I talk about this, I have to remind myself that, you know what, even if it took so long to get to this point in life, to get over the hump, to get past this point of like, I don't see a positive future for me. I don't see a life where I'm going to be blissfully happy. I didn't. That did not look like a real achievable destiny at any given point for a long time. But we can redefine how we handle these problems. We can redefine what weakness, what strength really looks like. Strength comes in numbers. Strength comes in talking about it. And strength comes when you're honest with yourself. Don't let the things in life eat you up. Don't let it eat you up alone. Invite friends so it can eat you all. No, I say that, but I'm truly happy in the peace that I find now in solitude, not in isolation, in solitude. Because there is peace when I'm by myself and I can think and I can create and I can listen to music as loud as I want. And I can, little things like that. Like, there's peace in this solitude, but there's also peace in the community, in the engagement with others. Like, I realized after being so closed off, so shut down, and having to expend so much extra energy to perform, to pretend that I wanted to be wherever I was, to pretend that I was enjoying myself, to pretend that I was happy and enjoying life. It's so nice for it to just come naturally, for me to just be able to even look at myself in the mirror and be like, hey, you're doing all right. You're not perfect. You got a lot of flaws, but you're doing all right. Actually, you're doing even better than all right. And you're pretty awesome. Well, thank you. Learning to be able to love yourself again can be a very fun journey. And if you do love yourself, congratulations. Love that for you. But always remind yourself, because we get so hung up in the routine of life, and before we realize it, it's like, when was the last time you treated yourself? When was the last time you got your favorite type of food, from takeout? When was the last time that you went and got your nails done, or you got your hair done, or you got your hair cut? When was the last time that you got yourself a fresh outfit? Like, when was the last time you just told yourself, you look good today, and you felt good? Ask yourself that. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself that love and grace that you deserve. Because we don't got to be alone in this. We don't need to be silent in this. We all have a voice. So use it. Because guarantee there will be somebody who's willing to listen, willing to help you out, and willing to keep loving you, even despite whatever bombshells you might drop on them. Like, whatever you're going through, I'm sure someone else has already gone through it, or a version of it, or at least in some way, shape, or form they can relate. And for whatever reason, if they can't, then you are enlightening them. You're showing them your humanity, the side of you that doesn't get put up on social all the time, the side of you that isn't, the hair and makeup and the clothes that you put on when you go out to be with people. Like, you get to show some real you. And I think a lot of people will appreciate seeing that. I know I appreciate when I've seen it in others. Because it's like, that's who you are. That's what really makes you you. It's beautiful, it's messy, disorganized, and we love it. We love it because that's what life is exactly like. We are just the representations of it. We are the manifestations of everything that we want to be. And we can also be the manifestations of everything we're scared of. You can become the very thing that you don't want to be without realizing it. It's a slow fall from grace, but ultimately, I believe in all of you. Love you all. Looking forward to hearing some success stories. And I think that's about it. I'm going to wrap it up this week. Keep it a little shorter on this side for you guys, but definitely want to keep talking. Definitely want to have more conversations about what exactly I might be referencing when it comes to some of this heartbreak and pain, but that is a story for another time. And if you haven't seen this one yet, go check it out. And this has been Sociable Turtle. I love you guys. Catch you next week. Bye.